Yo, 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 what's up, AUC, Urban Central? This is Slump right here, Smoky Slump. And this is the pop up with Slump, where we're tapping in to the movers and shakers. I hate that word, but you know what I mean, of the community. And we're going to get it popping. So, our guest today is Mr. B Burton. Everybody give a round of applause. All right. So, B Burton, who is B Burton? So, you guys ever heard of somebody or a group named Griselda? Yeah, it sounds familiar, right? And they wear pretty fly stuff, right? Well, this is the brainchild behind all the fly stuff. The way the merch is moving, the logistics, the nitty gritty. That's B Burton himself, the man that you see right here. This is El Plaga when it comes to the merch for Griselda. Yeah. So, welcome to the platform, B Burton.
Thank you, Smokey. I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you for that introduction. I like that, the La Plaga.
Well, let's continue the introduction. Tell all the square bears out here that's tapping in for the very first time who you are and what you do for Griselda in a nutshell.
Okay. Well, really, who I am, I really don't believe in a whole bunch of titles. I'm just someone that enjoys working hard, and if there's a job that needs to be done, I either find a way to get it done or find a way to find somebody that can get it done. So a lot of times, a lot of things that you find in this game when you're building and starting out and working with a good team or working with family, it's more like necessity. So you have things that you want to do, goals you want to accomplish, and it's just like, okay, well, who's going to do it? How do you do it? Where do I go to learn the information to get it done? And those are just the kind of things that I enjoy doing is finding the resources or the information or taking somebody's vision and helping basically just run the play. So I started out, as an assistant working with Conway, and then him and Wes kind of really pushed for me to be the tour manager when we went on our first tour. So I ended up becoming like the official tour manager. Learned a lot under some great guidance.
So back it up to Conway. How did you meet Conway to even start engaging with Bro in the first place?
Well, let me shout out DJ Shay. Rest in peace, DJ Shay. DJ Shay was really the catalyst in a lot of this. I ended up meeting Conway at DJ Shay's studio at a spot that we call 297 Parkside, is across from the Buffalo Zoo. Okay. And it was Buff City Records. And that's where I met Benny. That's where I met Conway. And then that eventually led to me meeting Westside Gunn years later down the line around like 2012. So I met Conway around like 07. And we actually had kind of some interactions. I was working with another artist actually that was on that label around. And, me and Conway kind of ended up just having a few conversations. I heard his music. We ended up like just becoming cool, becoming homies. Us my homies, us the bro, we good peoples. So from there, we just kind of we're just always around each other. And then around the time that everything kind of started coming together for Griselda, I ended up paying him to do a verse because I was rapping, so he did a verse for me at the time. And then after there,
as a rapper first.
But yeah, I was rapping first. And then I just focused on the business side as like a consultant, helping other artists fill in the blanks. Shit, I didn't know myself and started learning. So I was like, if I don't know this, and I think I'm kind of smart, I guess. I'm fairly smart. I know for a fact that other people may not know this. So that just came with little stuff like knowing where the money came from, how to get paid on the back end, what publishing even is and how it works and things of that nature. So being an artist, I just realized, okay, there's a lot of things that if you do get a deal or if you do make it, if you sign on that dotted line, do you even know everything you're getting into? Do you know what it means? Do you even know how you get paid besides record sales? Where does the money come from? What do you owe? How that all works? How do people end up going platinum and end up broke, or not have any money? And you hear all these horror stories. So I just started doing the research and doing the knowledge and applying it to myself. So I ended up learning how to do that and help others with that same knowledge.
So you infiltrated and then found what was missing and then kind of exploited that, right?
I wouldn't say quite infiltrated. It's more like I just gave other people what I wish someone gave me. as
Okay.
far as information and knowledge and how to get to it and figure it out and explain it in a way that made sense. Because we all hear about things. We hear about like people who don't make the most from the things that they create. And I always wonder why. Like, how did that happen? Like, what did you miss? Or what are we all missing? Or where does this money go? And how do you generate so much money but see so little of it? So I just figured like other people needed that. So I started working with artists, if it was assistant work, it was anything that they needed, or just, other people wanted to start businesses and other small indie labels around the area in Buffalo. There were little smaller indie labels that I work with. And then all that kind of culminated in me gaining the experience and the clientele to understand things that are needed when working in the entertainment industry. And a lot of times we miss a few steps, or we miss money, or there's money that's just floating around that somebody's getting that money, but it's not always the person who made it or who created the item that makes the money. So from there, I just kind of ended up linking up with Conway. We was hanging out, and just mobbing. And there were things that just kind of needed to be done at the time. So I just kind of filled in the blanks. And that's how I became an assistant and just was helping out. And then I knew a few things about the game, and I was interested in whatever they needed. So they kind of vouched for me to take on the tour manager position. And really, when they got the Shady situation, they went in there and really kind of planted their flag in the ground and said, B Burton, we want him to be our guy to kind of learn how to be a team and go from there. And it's been kind of history with the Griselda camp ever since.
So pretty much you got in position by bringing value to a good situation.
Yeah. So just bring value to people around me. I always just try to do that because, you won't get nowhere just trying to take all the time. You got to bring something to the table, know how to do something. And everything ain't always about a dollar trying to get paid immediately from it or things of that nature. It's just, hey, if you see a movement, you hear a sound. I was a fan of all their music anyway. Okay. So it was just being able to work with people that you was cool with. I was like, good people, and they dope. So, it's a 2-for-1. That's a win-win in my book.
A few seconds ago, you alluded to the Shady situation. Are you able to speak on that at all?
What you want to know? It depends.
Like, what's up with that, man? Like, there was a dope situation, and what do you feel the disconnect was, or was there a disconnect? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Was there a disconnect?
I don't feel like it's a disconnect. Everybody did what they said they was going to do. Good business was done. A great project dropped. 2 great projects with one with Who Made the Sunshine, excellent West Side Gun project, and What Was She Gonna Do was a group project, which came out very, very dope. And then, Conway's project is up and coming. So, they handled their business. They did what they said they was going to do. Our guys did what they said they was going to do. So everything was good.
Was it a situation that you would do again? Or not you, what that perhaps the powers that be would do again?
I don't know. I can't really speak for them. That's something that they're going to have to answer.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So you over there shining. Every time I see you, I say that. But man, what is a Buffalo kid? And tell us about what's going on in Buffalo. What is Buffalo like? Where is it? I know where it is, but other people may not know. And what's the significance of Buffalo in the rap game?
All right, Buffalo is located in upstate New York, Western New York. So that's more like towards like Lake Erie near Canada. It's a joke like, oh, Buffalo, y'all in Canada, but Buffalo's right there by Canada. We about like an hour and a half away from Toronto, about 7 hours away from New York City. And it's really like a Rust Belt city. Buffalo's a really poor Rust Belt city. It's starting to come back, a little bit in the tech realm mainly, and finance. But Buffalo is kind of like those cities that once the Industrial Revolution was over, it was over. It got bad for Buffalo. The money wasn't flowing. There was a lot of government corruption too. The crime rate was crazy, comparable to like a Chicago, with the crime rate, murder rate. The lack of resources and the lack of just general opportunities. And let's not even get started on the entertainment industry. Like there was nobody really notable out of Buffalo who proudly waved that flag or was out there besides like a few people making strides, but like on a major musical stage other than since like Rick James really. So, the significance for Buffalo is like a city like ours.
You said Rick James?
Yeah, Rick James is from Buffalo.
Oh, that's hard. Me and Rick James got the same birthday, but
that's dope.
Yeah.
So really, like, you come from a city where, we lost the 4 Super Bowls in a row in the 90s. We never didn't have a lot to celebrate. We don't have no NBA team. It's not like we won a Stanley Cup or anything. So, you had kind of like a cloud of depression and never going to win. And, it's a defeated kind of vibe. And I think that with the rise of Griselda and other things that are happening in Buffalo, it allowed us to have a breath of fresh air and something to be proud of. And that's why I'm proud to be a part of the organization, because now people can look and say, okay, they from where we from. We can start businesses. We don't have to follow the path, the negative path. We all don't have to go sell dope. We all don't have to do this. We can focus on our dreams and build and work together and even possibly do it with our family and friends.
Right.
So the Buffalo Kids really is just that's Westside Gunn's brainchild. All this is his brainchild. I say, I don't say that lightly, that I feel like he's one of the great minds, of this era, of this century, I feel like. And to be able to work with someone of this caliber is a blessing, because it allows you room to grow, learn, and basically like shake your nuts, for lack of a better term. Kind of say like, hey, flex your brain muscles, learn something new, bring ideas to the table, and discuss and build in a beautiful cipher of people that are looking to basically be progressive. And Buffalo Kids is really his vision of people, who are from the town, who are doing dope things and a good representation of what's dope and what's coming out of there and the talent that Buffalo has. So I'm really proud to be a Buffalo Kid, like an official Buffalo Kid.
Y'all sound like Detroit. Like, y'all sound like the thing that's going on in Detroit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Very similar.
I love Detroit. I love it there. It reminds me of home.
You be out there for real?
I haven't been out there a lot. I've only been out there during shows and then on tours and then a few times here or there. Especially with this coronavirus thing going on. I've been trying to limit my travel a lot. Right. So that, just trying to stay healthy and safe.
Right. So the merch thing. So I don't think people understand. Like, you're the how can I say this? The strategist. Is that the best way to say it?
I would say I was a cog in the wheel when the wheel needed to be turned. So I wouldn't say I'm a strategist. When I don't like to take credit for things that aren't totally mine.
Yeah.
And I gotta give kudos.
Other people that was involved in there. You can say their name. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, definitely. Okay. I definitely was involved in helping with the systems and logistics and how to get things running a certain way, and assisting with the merchandising, along with, a few other key people in the good team that we have, who handles a lot of the other areas of it. Yeah, I definitely was able to come down. I started working directly with Westside Gunn roughly about June 2018, and just kind of showed them a system that could, and some things that could kind of help with the system for how merchandising goes and flows. And then it's kind of, the floodgates were open from there. Well, and now we're able to provide all these dope clothes to people and dope items and art.
What was the tipping point when you realized that this was a thing? So I learned about Griselda by, I told you this, by clicking, was it Crime Apple or something like that?
Yeah, Crime Apple.
And now let's
shout out Crime Apple.
You said what?
It's a shout out Crime Apple.
Yeah, shout out to the guys. But I just got lost in the matrix, as we say, and I was just clicking, and I found y'all, right? And one thing that you guys are known for is the music, the creativity, the aesthetic, right? But then also the external, right? The monetizable vertical, so to speak, specifically the merch, right? So when you listen to JBP, Joe Budden podcast, you listen to, I could name a whole bunch of people, right? They're constantly talking about merch, this, oh my gosh, constantly, Wes was on the show, and then he was dripped out and everything, and it just seems like it's a thing. It seems like the music is right here, and the merch it's almost like they're synonymous with each other.
The clothing is undeniable.
Right. So what was the tipping point for all this? Like, when did you realize, this is a thing? Like you got a call from Jay, or like what happened? When did you notice?
Well, I always give kudos. Wes had the vision. He just never quit, and he knew that this was so dope and something that he had to show the world. So focusing on really just the quality of what people want to put on their bodies. The difference between what we do is we don't consider it, merch, quote unquote, so to speak, because when you think merch, you think, the overpriced T-shirts you used to get at the concerts at the arenas that fall apart after a wash or two, and you still paid $25 for it or something like that, So when you take quality into context and you give people a quality item, you get it to them in a timely manner, and the artwork is dope, the designs is dope, the inspiration is dope, and you just want to have a fire look and give people the opportunity to wear something that they can't just go to a Marshall's or a department store. You can't even go in Saks and buy this. You can't go in Neiman's and buy this. You can't go anywhere else and buy this, but only get it here. And when you make the dopest shit, the artwork is fire, the design behind it is fire, even just the whole way it's put together is dope. It took its time, but after time, people caught on, they loved it, and they wanted to wear it. There may be people who don't even like the music that want to wear the clothes just because it's dope. So it's like you even got like people's older aunties and grandmas wanting to wear things, especially like the Liz design. Shout out Armani Caesar and the Liz. That was a dope design that Westside came up with. So it's a lot of really just dope creativity and quality items that you can give people that they can wear and be proud to wear, and it lasts.
Yeah.
The clothing lasts. You can wear it and keep it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and it's still gonna look good, and it's still gonna feel good when you put it on your body. So that's the key. We wanted to focus on quality and a dope look and something that you could wear pretty much anywhere, and it's gonna be fire, and you can't find it nowhere but from us.
Right. So after you guys blew up with the merch and everything, it happens to everybody. I know one you got a phone call, and you're like, bro, is this really Steve Stout calling me? Or like, why is he for a hoodie? You know what I'm saying? And trying to give me some crazy reach outs that you've gotten that just blew your mind before you even knew you were popping.
I think the biggest thing, and I guess this kind of ties into when I was a tour manager, because even when I was a tour manager, I still did merch on the road. It was really like the DJs, like Static Selector, being able to work with him and him reaching out to me, and also just being informed, like, hey, put aside this item for this specific person, and then when you hear the name, you're like, oh shit. That's you're like, oh shit, we working on something that was designed by Virgil. When you heard that, when we seen that design with Virgil, for me that really was a big one.
Okay,
and, that really was huge for us, but even for me personally, to hear names like that and to see fans, of the caliber of people in this industry take notice was important, especially when Jay started mentioning music on playlists and things of that nature. It was huge. So to see people, and I think the biggest thing for me, because I'm a behind the scenes guy, that really kind of let me know that things were on another level was when I was able to sit down and have a conversation with hip hop.
That's Kanye. So, you're right.
Yeah. So meeting hip hop for me, even though I met him a few times, it's a funny story. I met him at Alchemist's house and didn't know who he was. So I kicked it with him a few times. I even played NBA 2K, shooting the shit, hit a one or two.
Low key, like,
yeah, he's just low key. So he just told me his name was Hop. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And then lo and behold, we ended up kind of working together. And then I'm just like, wait a minute, hip hop. And then I was told, yeah, that was hip hop. He was sitting on the couch at Al's all the time. You've been seeing him. So they told me, like, you've been seeing hip hop. He was on the couch all the time at Al's. I'm like, wait, that was hip hop? He didn't tell me the whole name was hip hop when I put two and two together. Because you think about it, in the 90s, early 2000s, you didn't really see his face a lot. If he wasn't already in the game moving around, you know what he looked like. He didn't do a lot of press with his picture in the press back then. So it was like, oh.
Wait, hold on. He's that old? Yeah, I didn't know. I just met him real quick, like a few times. I thought he was like, all right, he been around there.
Okay. Yeah, hip hop is a legend in the game at what he do.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
He's also works in management for us. So shout out hip hop, shout out Chase Infinite. Shout out Agency 78.
Dope. Hey, can you talk more about the Virgil collab? Like, how did that come about? Because that's super interesting and rare and like dope. You know what I mean?
But that was something that him and Wes cooked up. I guess they were communicating, and then I was informed that that was going to happen and showed the design, and we seen it, and I was like, yo, that's fire. And then it went into production, and that's history from there. We just geared up for the release, and like we said, let the floodgates open and let the people do what they do. It was a good opportunity or something that'll never come around again. It was a one-time thing, so that was important and crucial. And people took full advantage of it, and I'm glad that people were able to wear such spectacular art. I think it was dope.
Yeah. Who I was looking at your IG page, and you like really tapped in, bro. You got pics with everybody. Like you got tips with everybody.
That's new. I used to not take pictures at all, so that's new. That's new for me. I never liked taking pictures, so.
But who? Because we all have it. What is a crazy celebrity? I hate to use the word celebrity before the purpose of this. What's the crazy celebrity encounter that you had that just threw you off? Meaning, like you met somebody and they was just super player with it, and it just threw you off. Or you met somebody and they was just like really a gangster for real. You was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it has to be two. I already told you the hip hop story. That was the one where he was two players smooth, and I didn't even know he was him. Yeah. So I even told him that story. But the wildest person I ever met is Sticky Fingers by far. Sticky Fingers by far. His energy is unmatched.
Yeah.
Spontaneous, unpredictable, but it's all love. And that was just the wildest person. His energy was just raw and in your face. And I met him when I was in Cali. I was with Conway, and we linked up with him. And then it was dope just kicking with him, building, and learning from someone as legendary as himself. He's definitely a wild boy, but much love to him.
All right.
And our sons got the same name, so that was cool.
So how do you feel about a lot of people have been saying this, Jim Jones specifically? I think he was the first one to really say it.
Mm-hmm.
People saying rap is the most dangerous profession. How do you feel about that statement? And also in relation to some of the events that you and your team have recently experienced, how does that hit? Is that true? Is that cap? What are your feelings about that?
It is. All entertainment is dangerous. The entertainment industry in itself is dangerous because you take something that's meant to entertain people or tell a story or give people access to a portion of your life and your experiences, or even like a storyline, or even something that's completely created, whether it be a movie or anything of that nature. And it creates this false sense of familiarity. I call it assumed familiarity, where people feel like, oh, I know you now, or I know the type of person you are now, so I can invade your personal space because I feel like because I connect with you on a certain level, that replaces the need for a real personal relationship, and even more so in this digital age. Back in the day, yeah, it's the same danger, but with the digital age now, it's even more so because it's in your face all the time. So a person could watch all your interviews, buy everything that you have to offer, listen to the music, watch your movies, whatever it is you do, and they feel like, oh, I know you now. So now they feel like they have the right to kind of reach out and touch you or invade your space. Or you got to remember, like, we live in a world in a day and age where, unfortunately, people don't always have your best intentions, so these same forms of media where we can sit here and talk face to face and touch and show each other things and have these conversations, people still use those in the same manner to kind of, commit crimes and do things that, really just aren't on the up and up. So yes, I agree with that. But being in the public eye in general is dangerous. And I don't think just because, a person's a rapper or a ball player or a movie star or even a politician, it's equally dangerous, because there are going to be people who don't like you. There's going to be people that hate you. There's going to be people that don't understand what you do or what you stand for. So really, at the end of the day, you got to make sure that you're aware of where you are, what you're doing, and protect yourself at all times. Because, I like to feel like, to really quote, the late great Prodigy, this rap is like blood sport. So like it's that type of thing. So We just have to be aware of the pitfalls that come with it and try not to get caught up or caught off guard.
Okay, speaking of the violence and all that, what is your take on the ATL Waterboys? You know what the Waterboys are, right?
Yeah, I see the Waterboys all the time.
So I went on so I was I was in Baltimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like a few years ago. And I was telling people, I'm like, hey, bro, they got these kids out here that has mobbed a car with a squeegee or water, but it's like real aggressive, but it's like the culture out here, like, you know what I mean? That people didn't believe me. And then this year, the Waterboys came and they just jumped off the porch crazy, right? So people like, yo, the Waterboys, because I got partners, they got a decent car. You know what I mean? They're like, bro, they just be real aggressive and everything. I told you this is a thing that exists. And so how do you feel about the Waterboys, man? What was your take on all that?
I mean, it ain't no difference between the Waterboy and the homie hustling bootleg CDs in Manhattan, in New York City. You got to get to it, and they could be selling dope and robbing people. So, I mean, if they out here selling bottles of water and flipping it and getting to their money, I ain't mad at them, man. It's a competitive market, and sometimes, they may need to polish their approach, but I never knock a young man that's finding a way to get $1 out here legally. So it's something that I had to adjust to when I was in Atlanta. I spent a lot of time down there, to what they did, but I respected it. So, if I'm driving around and I roll past some man, I may grab a water. Hey, some of the smart ones got Gatorades and Powerades. You might need that more than the water, especially if you're leaving the gym, moving around all day. So any young boy that's out here doing something that ain't gonna put them in a casket or in a prison cell, I'm with it. Okay. Maybe I'll use that as an opportunity if I run into them to help them on their pitch, or I may say no. It can't always be yes. But if it's a young boy that's out here, or even an adolescent, or anybody that's out here trying to do some type of business or commerce and making money, and it's not hurting nobody, and they're not putting their life at risk, then I'm all for it.
Have you been to Lenox lately?
No.
You already know I'm about to ask. Hey, what's up with Lenox, bro? Like, I stay probably 2-3 blocks away from Lenox, and somebody's got shot at Lenox, or they've been shooting at Lenox probably on average about 3 times a week for the past 2 months. What's up with Lenox, bro?
It's just wild. It's the Wild West right now. People hungry, money drying up. And people watch the news, and for those who don't watch the news, that money that was available before, it's not flowing like it used to. So people are hungry. People are looking for opportunities to come up, and people are angry. So you never know what could happen. It's a situation where you put a lot of people in a certain area who don't have a lot, and you put a luxury mall in the middle of it. What you think gonna happen? I mean, after a matter of time, the hood's still the hood. So people still want more. Jack Boy's still gonna be Jack Boys.
Yeah.
So, you put a fishbowl, in the middle of an area where people want those things. Some people gonna hustle to get them, and some people gonna try to take them from the people who hustle to get them.
So, are we gonna see B Burton shopping at Lenox anytime soon?
Well, if I do, I ain't telling nobody where I'm going. I'm in and out. I'm not saying that I'm scared, but you want to be smart. You don't want to put yourself in high-risk situations for no reason. That's just dumb.
But so what trips me out about the whole Lenox thing, right, is that Phipps is right across the street. So if it's too active,
was a shooting at Phipps too.
You said what?
Was a shooting at Phipps too not too long ago.
Oh damn, bro.
It's the end of the year. All the money that came early during the summer and the pandemic is drying up. So you got to think about what happens with normal factors when money dry up. It don't the things that happen in the streets or other parts of society don't change just because you went to the mall. You just at the mall.
Well, this is my last question, man. I'll let you go. So recently, a lot of artists, popping artists, people that typically have that get #1 Billboard hits and so on and so forth, they are selling their masters. So on that apparently in the comments, I'm a part of the Illuminati now, and so are you.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
Yeah, so since we're talking to Illuminati, why are people selling the masters? I know you know. You know what I mean?
I don't know specifically why people selling their masters, but the only reason the person would sell their masters is money. They need money. So if you're not, and also I think people get it misconstrued in the music industry. Like most of the people who make a lot of good money in entertainment, but especially in the music industry, don't make their money off music. Ain't no money really in music like people think it is. So you have to build yourself other platforms and ways to make money. Like how many successful artists and rappers, besides the ones that obviously get a lot of shows and do videos, but the ones who make the most money usually are A, independent, B, got a fire deal with somebody, or C, they got other ways to make money. Now, I don't know nobody else's business, but I know for a fact that if you have things that you can provide to the general public that people want, then you don't have to depend on a rap check or a music check. And God forbid you sign to a deal that's not the best deal, then you kind of stuck. So it's really just about managing your resources, or maybe people, want to broker with their masters. You can barter to that. You could sell them for a certain period of time. So I don't know anybody's individual situation, but a lot of times it's really just for money. And if your catalog has value, then you could buy them and have masters. Matter of fact, a good thing to do as you make money in the industry is find ways to buy catalogs. That's what Prince did. That's what Michael Jackson did. So if you can find a catalog that generates money, buy that catalog. If you know someone selling their masters, buy them and keep them. That's a long-term investment you could give to your kids.
Did you hear about Lil Wayne?
Mm-hmm.
So Lil Wayne, he sold his masters for $100 million, but apparently a third of those masters was Nicki and Drake's. So I'm like, I don't know. I thought maybe the Illuminati himself might know, so I was just asking. But
not in the Illuminati, man. Stop playing.
No.
I got no comment. That's that man business. That's their business.
Yeah. All good. But yeah, that's about it, man. How can people get in contact with you?
You can reach me at Instagram at that's 3 ads. My bad. At I am B Burton. That's IAM B. Also another B URTON. And also besides what I do with helping with merchandising and logistics, I also run a consultant business where I help artists, startups, entrepreneurs, or other people find ways to either find money that's missing in their situation, create new products, also create business structure, and then from there put them on a path with a game plan to help take their basic project or business or their ideas to the next level and connect them with the right resources and people to get that done. So I'm not cheap, but you get what you pay for. But I believe in giving back and helping people kind of reach their next steps. And I do it in a way where people can kind of whip their own sauce. You don't get nowhere trying to do something that's another man's. You kind of got to help people find their voice, basically their sauce, if you want to call it that, or their style, and expand upon it. And if you already got one, that's even better. So sometimes we all miss steps. I just try to give people the steps that they missing.
Perfect. There we go. So thank you for joining us, Mr. Burton. We're gonna have some more virtual meet and greet, so to speak.
Indeed.
Thank you, everybody, for the millions of people. That's right, millions of people that tuned in tonight. Thank you for all the sponsorships from Nike and Hermes and all that. And we are out.
We out. Peace.